Hi again, guys. So, I did my introduction, and I just wanted to let you guys know a little bit about my background, my story, why I had to learn to live a new normal. My story actually started 20 years ago when I broke up with my first love, Bernard. It took 20 years, and we found our way back to each other 5 years ago. Right after we found our way back to each other, my mother, who was my best friend, was diagnosed with COVID. She died 3 weeks later. Uh, in that time, Bernard had moved back to Pittsburgh with me, and we had decided to try again. He was there through it all, holding her hand, talking to her, encouraging her, taking care of her while I was at work. I didn't know that towards the end, he made her a promise that he would always take care of me. And that was the beginning of our journey. She died of COVID. We were married 47 days later. My job moved us to Georgia, and I was excited to start a new life. My best friend was gone. My mom was gone. I didn't really know what to do without her in my life. I depended on her for everything. I talked to her about everything. She was the one I could count on, and she was no longer there. I called her in the good and the bad times. And then we got to Georgia. We were working. Life was back to normal as it could be without my mother here. And one day Bernard walked in my office, and he didn't look good. I rushed him to the hospital. He was burning up with fever, and they kept him for observation because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. The next day, he suffered a seizure and a stroke at the same time from complications from meningitis. I'm a newlywed. We just found our way back to each other. We just found love again. And they had to put him in an induced coma. They told me it didn't look good. He probably wouldn't make it. I sat at his bedside for a week, watching him just lay there, not being able to do anything. I felt hopeless. I felt helpless. There was absolutely nothing I could do to save this man that I've loved all these years, and finally got him back, and now he was going to leave me too, just like my mother. They actually took sick the same day, a year apart. And everything I had gone through with my mother with COVID, because they had to put her in an induced coma also, a year later I was going through with my husband, my true love. He finally came out of the coma. He had to learn to walk again. He had to go through therapy. His memory, his short-term memory is gone. He was a different person. Our marriage changed. He was the breadwinner. He was my everything. He was my all. He's chivalrous. He doesn't allow me to pick up anything heavy. He doesn't want me to open a door. He drove me everywhere. And now he couldn't do any of that. I had to become the caretaker. I had to learn to still let him have his manhood, even though I had to take care of him. We came through that. A year later, I was having all kinds of issues, and I was ignoring them. Mind you, I was 45 and he was 48 at the time. I go to the doctor. I'm pregnant. We were so excited. Neither of us had children at that late age. We both had always wanted them, but we figured it was too late. If neither of us at that age had had kids, it probably wasn't possible we'd have them. And I went back for testing and my levels weren't rising. So they brought me in for an ultrasound. I'll never forget, as they were doing the ultrasound, I couldn't see the screen. I said to him, "What do you see?" He said, "I see a baby." That was our baby. That was proof of our love through everything we had already been through. After the ultrasound, the doctors pulled us in and told us our baby was ectopic, that I was 3 months pregnant. Most women don't make it that far. She couldn't believe I didn't have pain, that I wasn't suffering, and I hadn't bled out. My life was in danger. My baby made herself known in time to save my life. I was 3 months already. You could see her features in the ultrasound. I could see her little nose, her eyes. She was everything I ever dreamed of. And I lost her. We lost her. It's truly a loss for both of us. Life was dark. That was all in a 3-year span. I just wanted to go back before my mom died. Back before Bernard got sick and things changed our marriage. I wanted to go back before I lost my baby to the time I was pregnant. When I realized all those things that was going on, I was experiencing pregnancy. But I couldn't go back. None of it would change. My mom was gone. My husband had changed. My baby was gone. How do you survive that? How do you get over that? How do you keep living? I had to figure that out. I had to figure out that there was no going back, that my life was changed forever. And I had to figure out how those changes were going to develop. And I had to figure out how to keep living through those changes. And through it all, I had to figure out how to find joy. I had to figure out how to smile again. I had to figure out how to laugh again. I had to figure out how to pray again. But I did. And that's my story. And I just wanted to share it with you. So you know this is real. When I open this page, it's real. It's actually what I have experienced and gone through. And that's why I can have empathy for others going through.